Totally phony story.
Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is here tonight with reaction.
So we're going to do repeal and replace. Very complicated stuff.
Then Republicans move ahead with a plan to repeal and replace Obamacare.
We're going to get health care taken care of in this country.
Bill Bennett weighs in. And loony Hollywood liberals are at it again.
I don't know how we're going to take, 4 years of this.
Kimberly Guilfoyle and Eric Bolling will respond. All of that plus Ainsley Earhardt and Lou Dobbs join us in studio. Hannity starts right here, right now.
And welcome to Hannity, and tonight we will connect the dots and expose the corrupt cabal that is the mainstream media in America and show just how biased BuzzFeed and the liberal media really is. And that is tonight's opening monologue. So the liberal alt-left media is in meltdown mode because Donald Trump put them on notice that he's not going to take their BS anymore. Yesterday, a prime example. Take a look.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen. And it was gotten by opponents of ours, as you know, because you reported it, and so did many of the other people. It was a group of opponents that got together, sick people, and they put that crap together. I think it's a disgrace. That information that was false and fake and never happened got released to the public. As far as BuzzFeed, which is a failing pile of garbage, writing it, I think they're going to suffer the consequences. They already are.
So the media, they're pretending to be shocked that the president-elect slammed BuzzFeed over publishing an unconfirmed, completely unfounded political op research file on President-elect Trump. But here's what the corrupt media will not tell you, for example, about them. Now, it's nothing more, BuzzFeed, but a political propaganda arm of the Democratic Party. And here's why. In June, the website terminated an advertising deal with the RNC because, as their CEO said in part in a statement, quote, the Trump campaign is directly opposed to the freedoms of our employees in the United States and the world. Now, 2 days after BuzzFeed terminated the RNC deal, their chairman, Kenneth Lear, hosted a $33,000 a ticket DNC fundraiser in New York City that President Barack Obama attended. Not to mention that Lear has a very long history of donating to Democrats. Now, since 2004, he's contributed almost $500,000 to Democrats, including $2,700 to Hillary Clinton in 2016. Is that fair and balanced? I don't think so. So it should be no surprise that BuzzFeed and CNN and all these other people, in the case of BuzzFeed, the editor-in-chief, Ben Smith, are standing by the decision to publish what amounts to fake news, all in an attempt to smear the president-elect Donald Trump. Take a look.
I know this was not your intent. I've known you a long time. But you just published fake news.
We just published a dossier. No, I think that's a really...
Why is that not a fair, why is that an unfair description?
I think people love to throw the term fake news around to diminish anything they don't like. But I think this was a real story about a real document that was really being passed around.
All right, also in that interview, Chuck Todd mentioned that NBC Universal has direct ties to BuzzFeed, even though he said their news divisions are, quote, separate. Now, according to Bloomberg, over the past 2 years, NBC Universal, they have made $400 million worth of investments in BuzzFeed. And companies, of course, have deepened their advertising and content ties. So what we're dealing with here is a giant media corrupt swamp. And they're all interconnected. It all works together, almost in unison, to advance their leftist agenda. Also tonight, the media is in a frenzy over this exchange that the president-elect had with CNN and Jim Acosta yesterday at the presser. Take a look.
Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? Since you're no, Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
Since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are attacking our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give us a
is
chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state categorically,
she's asking a question. Don't
Mr.
be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
So the liberal press is crying foul over that dust-up. Well, for years, they were totally silent when President Obama attacked me and Rush Limbaugh and Fox News all the time. For example, like when he made comments like these.
There's a reason fewer Republicans, you hear them running around about Obamacare. Because while good, affordable health care might seem like a fanged threat to the freedom of the American people on Fox News, it turns out it's working pretty well in the real world. And I haven't turned on Fox News or listened to conservative talk radio yet today, but I've turned them on enough over these past 7.5 years to know I'm not exaggerating in terms of their story.
The problem is we got all these filters. And look, if I watched Fox News, I wouldn't vote for me either, right? Because, you've got this screen, this funhouse mirror through which people are receiving information.
All right, so those are just a few examples. You talk about a glaring double standard. You know how many times he hit me personally? It was 15 times until somebody said, stop talking about Hannity. His radio show intro gets longer and longer. Here's the reaction. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. This is so reminiscent of when you were mayor. No, you're laughing because it's true.
I loved it.
I remember you'd say, that is such a stupid question.
Yes, yeah. Or did you ever read history?
Yeah.
Or maybe you should give your college degree back.
You loved it. And it was some of the most entertaining pressers I've ever seen in my life. I thought this was a pretty big beatdown for the whole country to see yesterday.
This was a great thing that he did. One of the things that should be mentioned is he pointed out, listen, I have the microphone and obviously the power to fight you back, but there are a lot of people that you hurt with this fake news that don't. And if he doesn't fight back...
People like Michael Cohen.
Yeah, people who... Michael Cohen.
His family.
There's not more than one Michael Cohen in the world.
Yeah, I know. One of my best friends growing up.
You don't bother to check. The guy's in America. He hasn't been in Prague. You want to
know something funny? So I wrote Michael, were you in Prague? He goes, no. Remember the videos I sent you of my son? He was trying out for one of the professional baseball teams.
This was so easy to verify. To verify. It was such damaging information that you had an obligation to try to verify it before, no matter who it is, whether it was Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama or Donald Trump.
But I tweeted Ben Smith that night. I said, Ben, I called Michael Cohen. It took 2 seconds, or I texted him, whatever I did. I got a confirmation. I've never been in Prague.
Look, I've had situations where they've done stories on me where they deliberately didn't call me because they didn't want me to put a quote in there that would be helpful to me to refute the story. I know what they do. I know the games that they play. It is refreshing, and it is very good for our democracy that we have a president that is trying to get us back to a free press.
Michael Goodwin of the New York Post, very good writer. We followed
originally of the New York Times.
Right. Okay. He said that they were hoping, and if you look at the breathlessness and hysteria, for example, by which CNN was reporting the story. He said that they were hoping for a political kill shot against Trump. Is this indicative of what's going to happen the next 4 to 8 years?
Yeah, but I think he's going to win this.